Going to have to not drink that olive oil thinking it's water. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Emma, and I work at FareShare, the UK's largest food surplus redistribution charity. What I want you to be leaving this talk with today is an understanding that there is a huge environmental and social issue in this country, and everyone in this room has the power to contribute to the solution. So let me outline the issue. There are 2.9 million tonnes of edible surplus food going to waste on UK farms each year. That's an area half the size of Wales that's being used to grow food that isn't being eaten. Estimates suggest that this equates to about £1.8 billion worth of food. And not only that, let's think about all the water that's gone into growing this food and all the carbon emissions that have been emitted, all in vain. Not only that, people's time, efforts, energy, and money have gone into growing this food too. And yet, at the same time, each day, 1 in 5 people in the UK are choosing between heating their homes or putting food on the table for their families. We surveyed teachers across England and found that over a quarter of them are bringing in food for school children out of concern for their welfare. Our teachers should be teaching, not worrying about bringing in hungry food for school children. And you can imagine the knock-on effects of that. Poor concentration, poor education, further pulled into a life of struggle and poverty. So let's just take a moment to reflect here. So 2.9 million tonnes of food is going to waste, whilst 1 in 5 people are struggling to afford to eat. But everyone here can help. So firstly, let me introduce you to Simon from Worcestershire. So sadly, he's not in the room today, but I had to persuade him to let me use this brilliant photo for the talk. But Simon grows cauliflower for retail markets. But if we cast our minds back to the seasons of last year, the weather gods gave some pretty great conditions for growing mammoth cauliflowers, unfortunately deemed too large for our supermarket shelves. So Simon could have left these cauliflowers to rot, sent them to animal feed or anaerobic digestion, but instead he got in touch with FareShare, as he has done for the past few years, and let us know that he had hundreds of cauliflower heads going spare. The next day, we sent a lorry into Simon's farm and collected all 10 pallets of cauliflowers to redistribute to charities around the UK who went on to share them with thousands of beneficiaries who are facing food insecurity. So these cauliflowers would have been combined with a range of other nutritious surplus food that FareShare would have collected from various organisations, such as pasta from Unilever, cheese from Year Valley, and bacon from Cranswick, all combined to create a delicious cauliflower and pasta bake that was originally destined to be wasted. And that hot meal is really just the beginning. Providing food to people who are vulnerable helps to create a domino effect to help lift people out of poverty. A lot of the charities FareShare works with don't only provide food, but also further wraparound services too, such as financial advice, cooking courses, and counselling. We see examples every day of how food waste can turn people's lives around. So let's take a moment to recap here. Simon made one phone call, and at no cost to him, he got rid of surplus produce he either would have had to pay to remove or painstakingly left unharvested. And in doing so, he was able to support people who are struggling. If there is a definition for a no-brainer, surely this would be it. There is so much opportunity here if we can work together to harness it. And we know that so much time, effort, and money goes into growing this food for everyone to eat. It's not right that all your efforts are being wasted in vain when we know people are going hungry. And I know it's not right that we're even in this situation and there shouldn't be this need, but we are in this situation. So why don't we do everything in our power to contribute to the solution? Now, you might be thinking this could be a lot of effort, but I assure you it is simpler than you think. We'll collaborate with you to identify your surplus and even handle the logistics for free. All you need to do is get it ready on a pallet for us to collect, and we'll take care of the rest. And you might also be wondering how you can do this at no cost. So at FareShare, we've got the Surplus with Purpose Fund, which is available to help the food industry prepare surplus food for us to collect and distribute to the 8,500 charities we support. The fund contributes to the cost of harvesting and packaging any good-to-eat surplus food that would otherwise not be eaten. However, due to skyrocketing demand, we're going to need more funding, which is why we're campaigning to ask the government to support. So the fund was initially launched by DEFRA back in 2019, but has since been funded through generous donations through the public and our partners. The government currently don't have plans to reinstate it, despite backing from the public, 130 MPs, and the NFU backing our ask. This inaction means that more food is being wasted, whilst there are a growing number of people facing food insecurity. So we urge the government to stand up and support the farming industry to ensure that no good food goes to waste. So Simon's cauliflower example is one of many examples I see every day, but I know there are more out there, which is why I wanted to speak to you today and spread the word among the farming community. So to summarize, I've got 2 asks. So my first is that if you know of surplus food, please get in touch with FareShare. We'll even provide reports which display the social and environmental impact your food has had, so you'll know exactly where that food has gone and how many people it's supported. You can tell your customers, fellow employees, friends and family, whoever you like, and just spread the word. And my second is that you help us to raise awareness of the Surplus with Purpose Fund. Join us in asking the government to support so we can work together to turn the problem of food waste into social good. So I urge you all to work with us and turn food waste into opportunity. It can help the planet, reduce wasted food and resources, and feed hungry people. Get in touch, we can talk about next steps. I'd love to speak to as many of you as possible. I'll be here today and tomorrow. So that's it from me. Thank you very much to the Oxford Farming Conference for inviting us to speak to you today and for you all for listening. Thank you.